At the outset, I would like to congratulate you on Guyana's election as member of the Security Council and on your presidency for this month. We wish you success in this endeavor. My delegation thanks the permanent delegation of the Russian Federation for requesting this urgent meeting in response to the vicious aggression committed by the US administration against the territories of the Syrian Arab Republic and the Brotherly Republic of Iraq at dawn on Saturday. This aggression constitutes a threat to regional and international peace and security and a blatant violation of international law, international humanitarian law, and the principles and purposes of the United Nations. Therefore, it should be condemned and denounced by the Security Council. Madam President, the US aggression led to the martyrdom of 37 civilians and military personnel and seriously injured 34 others. It led to the destruction of several civilian residential buildings, a school, and many civilian vehicles and facilities. Even historical sites were not spared from this aggression, which also targeted the ancient Al-Raba citadel. We have heard today the same flimsy pretexts and misleading claims that the US administration is promoting in an attempt to justify its repeated attacks, including by presenting a distorted and wrongful interpretation of the UN Charter's provisions, especially Article 51, ignoring the fact that occupation has no right to self-defense and that the root causes of conflicts, suffering, and instability in our region are the wrongful policies and the destructive policies of the United States and its blind and unlimited support for the Israeli occupation entity and the atrocities committed by Israel, including the ongoing crime of genocide against the Palestinian people for more than 120 days, alongside with the US investment in terrorism by supporting Daesh and Al-Nusra Front Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and other terrorist groups and separatist militias, as well as spreading chaos and destruction. Madam President, through its statements and official letters, my government has been keen to urge the Security Council to uphold its responsibilities regarding the repeated acts of aggression and serious violations of international law committed by the United States against the sovereignty, unity, territorial integrity, and the independence of the Syrian Arab Republic. Of course, one statement before the Security Council is not enough to list all the US violations. Successive US administrations have misused their permanent membership of the Security Council and interfered thoroughly in the internal affairs of other countries, including my country, Syria. They have formed military coalitions outside the umbrella of the United Nations and international legitimacy, perpetrating acts of aggression and occupation, exerting pressure and blackmail, collectively punishing and smothering peoples with unilateral coercive measures and inhumane, immoral blockades. Such violations impose the law of force over the force of law. Unfortunately, the successive US administrations have obstructed the work of the Security Council and prevented the Security Council from carrying out its primary responsibility entrusted to it by member states to maintain international peace and security. These administrations have guaranteed that their agents in our region, including the Israeli occupation authorities, terrorist organizations, and militias, will continue to commit the most heinous crimes with impunity. Madam President, the Syrian Arab Republic completely rejects all the pretexts and lies that the US administration is trying to use to justify its aggression, which aims to protect its agents in the region, including Daesh and al-Nusra Front, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, other terrorist entities and groups associated with them, and the separatist militias. These agents would not have continued their crimes against the Syrian people without the multifaceted support provided by the United States and its allies to them. Syria also categorically rejects that the territories of member states and the blood of their people become a platform for American election campaigns and for displaying brute force that undermine the values of law and justice and the principle of collective security on which the United Nations was founded. Syria affirms that this vicious American aggression, which is accompanied by the repeated Israeli attacks against the Syrian territories and the crimes of terrorist organizations and separatist militias, will not deter Syria from continuing its quest by all legitimate means to liberate its entire territories from the illegal foreign military presence, to eliminate terrorism, to restore the state authority and rule of law over its entire territories, and to ensure the security and well-being of the Syrian people. In conclusion, Madam President, my country asks the US administration to abandon its erroneous and destructive policies in the region and to end its illegal military presence on the Syrian territories, to end the suffering it is causing to Syrians as a result of its inhumane coercive measures, the plundering of national wealth, and the support it provides to terrorist organizations and separatist militias. My country also stresses that the US administration must refrain from causing further escalation in our region at a time when the overwhelming majority of the UN member states are working to stop war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide that the Israeli occupation authorities are committing against the Palestinian people, as well as Israel's repeated attacks on the Syrian Arab Republic and other Arab territories.